This episode of the Dan Le Batard Show with Stugotz is presented by Smirnoff. We do game days. Please drink responsibly. The Smirnoff Company, New York, New York.
So that was great.
That was good.
Killed it, man. What an interview, guys.
I don't
Everybody,
think
high
we're
five.
trailing.
High
I think
five.
we're all right.
Nah.
We're
I
tied?
think it's funny when you mess up, respectfully. People
I'm
enjoy that.
I'm in the Jets camp.
Pull
the curtain
We
back.
didn't have home court. Ultimately, the goal is to come back 1-1.
So we're trailing right now. The
Yeah.
game's not over. Oh, you're giving up on the game.
Look,
No.
man.
Lot of-
All right, they
lot
got
of
game
game
1,
left.
but
I think the best part of the game is still ahead of us, too.
Yeah.
This-
It's not over. You think it was so bad that we can't come back?
series hasn't even started yet.
No, I think we're in good shape. It wasn't a great play to hit the button in the middle of his answer, and also to play a sound bite that kind of felt like he needed to be quiet.
I don't think it was the button pressing. I think it was Dominique asking Steve if he was a better golfer than anyone currently on the PGA Tour, which just befuddled him.
That was
Interesting.
He didn't know. And even about the rugby stuff, there was a lot of moments where Steve was kind of like, what are we doing here? But
Yeah.
I liked it, though, because it was a good setup. When the button happened, though, that was the moment
was-
where
so
I'm
that's
I
like,
don't really think you can boil it down to
now
one.
he feels disrespected.
Here's
for
the
sure.
fumble. Because it was all kind of bad.
It's never good when I'm the one that shines in an interview.
Chris,
You were great, man.
That's just what
you
no one
talk
likes.
about
Hey,
carrying
that's good
the squad
accountability.
in that interview.
Way to be accountable, Chris. You were great.
I mean,
You did it.
I did get him to say that he would whoop Phil Mickelson's ass.
That was a good one.
And
Lead with
then
that one on the social.
I got a bucket, and then I proceeded to turn the ball over for the rest of the quarter.
We were leaning on you to take all the shots, so you're going to miss a couple, right? It was which soundbite hit. I don't think we're talking enough about like. It's
also a really
in the
bad
middle
one.
of an answer.
Yeah, it
Really
wasn't the
bad
best
one to
one.
go off, too.
And he was like a little long in the answer, which was like a good answer, but it felt there was a moment where you could see him thinking like, was that purposely done? Are they like telling me to get off the stage because I'm speaking too long?
Hand up, accountability. I blew it. I blew the interview.
I have an idea how we can get back out ahead,
Love to hear it.
Okay.
which is by doing weekend observations.
Let's do it.
Yeah, do it. Well done.
It is time for
Jessica's
game notes. No one in the media will tell you what happened better than my
girl, Jess.
Weekend Observations is presented by Miller Lite. Dom! It's one of the busiest times on the sports calendar, and we're one of the biggest podcasts in sports. But inexplicably, our host left us. One went on an indefinite hiatus, and one took his elegant swan on a work trip to LA. But you know what they say, the show must go on. And this segment is still sponsored. So just like that, make no mistake about it, Dominique, you and Charlie Kravitz are back. Charlie Kravitz, the vanilla snack.
Snack attack.
For only the second time in men's NCAA tournament history, 4 1 seeds are in the Final Four. For context, the last time that happened, Stugotz still came to work every day. The L in Le Batard stands for Los Angeles for the exclusive Sedano sit-down. Jeff Conine inducted into the Marlins Hall of Fame. Mr. Marlin. Put it on the poll. Can you be called Mr. Marlin if you played more seasons not on the Marlins than on the Marlins? Anytime there's a stoppage in play, Stan Van Gundy has to let you know how disgusted he is by it. Nobody, and I mean nobody, hates to see a review coming like Stan Van Gundy. SVG. Yankees, with 9 home runs in one game. The Bronx Bombers. WFAN taking calls all day about people wanting to talk bat size. That's what New York sports radio is all about. The Yankees, paying an MIT physicist instead of Juan Soto. Chess, not checkers. Also, Aaron Judge. Do it in the playoffs. BYU, the rare team to score 88 points in a college basketball game, only to lose by 25. Alabama, live by the 3. Alabama, die by the 3. Paige Beckers, bucket getter. Dominique, do you know what the B in Becker stands for?
I don't.
Bucket getter.
You just told me.
Yeah, you did know, actually.
I did.
You don't listen.
Pete Crow Armstrong, Cannon, PCA. November 8th, Frank Reich, Bill Belichick. Go ahead and circle it. Got the Stanford job.
Collision
It was
course.
breaking news like an hour ago.
Oh, wow.
Texas Tech, choked. If I was a Texas Tech fan, I would never recover from that loss. You know what the W in Walter Clayton Jr. stands for?
Nope.
Winner.
Oh.
You know what the C in Walter Clayton Jr. stands for?
Championship?
Closer. You know what the J in Walter Clayton Jr. stands for?
No.
Just give him the ball and get the bleep out of the way. Alex Ovechkin. Still doing it.
Fans
Ovi.
to make them dance.
Death. Taxes. And Don Staley in a Final Four. You tell Don Staley where the Final Four is, and she'll make sure she's there. The Jets GM announced that he believes Justin Fields will be the starter. Buddy, that's what the $30 million guaranteed already told us. Justin Verlander, San Francisco Giant. Miami Marlins, feisty.
Yeah.
Mr. Marlon.
Congratulations to the guy who really went out on a limb and picked all 4 1 seeds to make the Final Four. Dan Le Batard in Los Angeles, asking comedians what's the worst part of the life. Dan, the worst part of the life is listening to you interview comedians. What happened there? Taylor. Bill Belichick's girlfriend Jordan trolled the Atlanta Falcons with an Instagram post on 3/28. When Bill Belichick won that Super Bowl against the Falcons, Jordan was 15, and Stugotz still came to work every day. Big Ten, with 0 titles since 2000. Hey, Big Ten, do it in the NCAA tournament. Haley Van Lith, the first player in history to take 3 different teams to the Elite 8. You know what they say.
I don't.
If you have 3 Elite 8s, you don't have 1. Auburn's Denver Jones. Clutch. In honor of Denver Jones, top 5 athletes and celebrities named after a U.S. city. OLI. Houston Nutt. Aaliyah Boston. Austin Rivers. Memphis Depay. Cal Raleigh. Grover Cleveland. Is that a celebrity? John Stockton. Number 5, Orlando Pace. Number 4, Dallas Clark. Number 3, Joaquin Phoenix. Number 2, Ron Washington. Number 1, Tiffany Pollard. New York. Here come the Blues. UCLA beating LSU to make the program's first Final Four. You know what they say. First time for everything. I'm not sure a coach has ever handled leaving a school worse than Kevin Willard, leaving Maryland. The Terps. Headline. Steelers are considering Aaron Rodgers. I hate them. My personal hell would be watching Aaron Rodgers play for the Steelers. Speaking of hell, Art Briles, Dominique, those are the weekend observations.
Woo! Excellent job.
Fire.
Fight back.
Quickest weekend observations we've had here in quite some time. That was really good.
Thank you. I mean,
We're back even, too.
Stugotz
That's a good thing.
has really been taking his time lately.
That was a run that made us
In a
feel
lot of
good
ways.
about ourselves headed into game 2.
Why are you giving up on game 1?
No,
Did
game
the
one's
whole
over.
day.
Game one-
No,
game
we
one's
still
lost.
got.
No.
We're fighting back.
Yeah.
Bro.
You were
No, we lost
outvoted.
it with the
Everyone
questions, the
believes-
follow-ups to Lucy.
How about 2 goals? Yeah.
Everyone
we just knew
believes
it wasn't our day.
Everyone believes we're still in it. You don't want to
think
be.
we're still in
Hey, where's the penalty box button? We don't want anybody in here who is only willing to.
I'd like to see you find that button.
I'll see if my microphone can bump into it. We'll
We
see.
do have a
We'll
big
see what
guest
happens.
finishing the show here
See
that we
what
could
happens.
have a nice little comeback here.
We're
Oh
going
yeah,
to.
I'm great at interviews, guys.
Agreed. I got your back, bro.
I appreciate it.
My
Sure.
favorite part is when you're like, go ahead, Chris, ask him what you want to ask him.
Yeah. Well,
And like the variations of that was great.
What you got, Chris?
You like try to sound cool with it, so it
Yeah.
seems natural. Chris, what you got over there?
Oh, was that? That's what I was doing. I was trying to sound cool. I wasn't trying to sound cool. I just knew before the interview you were like, "Hey, if you need me."
We're breaking down film right now. There's just certain things in your game that I don't like right
that
now.
we're gonna.
appreciate it.
We got to work that out. There's private comms. You're not comfortable with the private comms because your microphone will hit them. And that way, Chris can just go as opposed to, go ahead, Chris, what you got?
Or even a head nod to me. You next.
I
Just
gave you
mouth
the head
words.
nod, and you. So
There was one time he was trying to get your like
was-
waving
This is
back
what-
and
This is
forth.
what Dan
That was
does.
when you wanted the ball back. I was next, and you were like,
it was
me.
But then he'll do this. And I don't do this.
All right.
It's like a traffic cop.
I will. I hand up.
Take the
Blew it.
coaching.
I'm blew it. I
No,
appreciate
no,
the
no, no,
coaching.
no, no, no.
We'll
You
get
gotta-
better. I appreciate that Jess came in and scored a flurry of buckets to get us back in the game, Michael
And
Ruiz.
don't forget, Pablo confused everybody. It's also Pablo's fault.
Also,
Nobody's
Taylor
fault but mine.
deserves credit for weekend
yeah.
observations because this is a place now where we lift each other up, right?
You know what? I cannot wait until the show awards. How many different ways you guys find a way to clown me for doing terrible interviews? It's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to it.
Look, man, you're 0 for 2, but you have a pretty big star joining us a little bit later in the show, and that's a great opportunity to get some positive mojo going as we try to steal Game 2 on the road.
I'm going to go Carlton knowing this because I'm a big fan of our last guest, so I'm just going to go off the wing here and just not like in a good way. I'm talking about at the end of the game in the Fresh Prince where Carlton steals the ball off of Will and just heaves it at the hoop. So I'm just telling you right now, I have no strategy going into this. I'm going to say open-ended things. And
I love it.
It's going to be hard to kind of follow and track.
You're leading it now. We just
No,
determined it. I got a list of questions that I'm actually interested in with our final guest. No one said who it is. Are we keeping it secret on purpose?
I don't understand why we're doing that. It's Keenan Thompson.
You kept doing it. You started it, so I was like, I'm not going to say it.
Chris also said we have a pretty good guest coming, and I mean, not to nitpick, but you did cut him off there. I thought he was getting to the tees, but then he couldn't get to the tees. But I like the idea of Hawk running it. We gotta run the offense through somebody else.
I think we should definitely run the offense through Hawk.
I refuse.
I have a question.
This is me refusing to go in on punt return in the preseason game. I did not prepare to return punts, and sorry, Coach, I respectfully decline. I'll see you next game.
All right.
Did you play high school sports, Mike?
No, not really. I played spring football one time, and I wrestled briefly, but I don't know.
Did they have a real ball when you played?
It wasn't like Tony's workout for FIU football. We played some real spring ball.
If you're not sure if you played high school sports, you probably did.
Well, I don't.
Yeah, it's not a kind of type of situation.
Like PE doesn't count.
I think I explained the context of it. Like I went through spring, played the spring game, realized that the sport hurt. So I didn't. It's not like I lettered in it. So I don't feel like I'm not gonna. I feel like if I say yes, it's stolen valor.
Yeah.
That's why you should have said no.
No is the
obviously
It was a maybe though for a few weeks.
No, I wrestled for like
the
a little
idea
bit.
of playing high school sports.
Oh well, like if you want to get into it, my mom died, so I stopped doing that.
Oh, there we go.
And then, the
This
football
is
thing
why
hurt.
a simple
should
no
know
would have
better.
been great.
Tried to,
No would have put us where we needed to be,
Tried
Mike,
to.
on that one.
but look at all the great content that we got out of it. Again,
It's much
I've
like
been
the
great.
interview with Steve Williams. We got a lot of great content out of it, so you
Moderna.
can't look at it through just, the lens of was the interview great or not.
What's unfortunate is I brought my A game.
Yeah.
I had a game
That's why you
one
take it.
winning effort today.
That's being accountable.
So
That is.
it was unfair of me to ask if you played high school sports because I knew the answer by how you've been conducting yourself amongst this team. Now it's like, yeah, that guy, not a team sport guy.
That's not why it wasn't. That's not why I don't consider myself a high school athlete. It's my lack of athleticism and effectiveness when I took the field.
No, there's a
a
lot,
lot of high school athletes are not athletes.
No, I also didn't like my coaches.
Call wrestling a team sport?
Who likes their high school coaches?
Honestly.
I liked all the other high school coaches. Man, I wish I would have played baseball. Padron seems so fun.
Yeah.
I wasn't getting on that team though.
Tough.
No, they were just juiced to the gills.
Oh, jeez. That's when baseball was fun.
We got a
That's when baseball was baseball.
We got a baseball story that's about. Well, it's not quite cheating yet. They might turn it into cheating real soon.
It feels like cheating, Dom.
The torpedo bats.
It feels like cheating.
How does it feel
not
like
cheating.
cheating? To
There's
you?
more bat. And they'll argue. They'll be like, well, it's actually the same amount of bat. I'm like, no. There's
Just shifting the weight.
the part of the bat that was smaller is now bigger. That's where most of the balls hit the bat. That feels like cheating.
It's a bowling pin
so
now.
to be clear, the Yankees are using a different type of bat called a torpedo bat that moves,
Great name.
That moves because it looks like a torpedo. That moves some of the weight and mass of the bat into a place where the ball more often hits, and it's allowed them to hit. What's the number? It's like 12 home runs in 9 innings or something like that.
You're close.
It's just a ridiculous. It's clear that it's a result of them. Of the bats, and it's not because they just all of a sudden became great baseball players.
I read a story, and apparently an MIT scientist is behind all this, and we really needed to go MIT for the solution to be bigger bat.
It's not a bigger bat, Mike. It still falls within the rules of the. Well,
bat.
It's a
maybe
certain formula that they followed
maybe
to stay within the rules. It's kind of like the tush push. This is baseball's tush push.
That's actually a great comp, Hawk.
You know?
You had a pretty good game one effort.
Thank you.
he was great. All right,
4 sevens.
we got our guest here, guys, so we can stop talking about baseball because who wants to do that? Keenan Thompson is here to join us. Thank you, sir.
What's good with y'all? Good morning.
Chilling. We're having a good time. I wanted to start with you with Morgan Wallen. I saw him walk off the set. Who did he call the N-word, and why didn't you punch him?
Hilarious. What happens when Dan ain't on the show?
This is just anything goes, man.
So I'll be clear with you, Keenan. I had an interview earlier where I interviewed Steve Williams, Tiger's former caddy, and I did an awful thing. I asked him poor questions, and then I moved my microphone while he was answering the question, and I hit this button. While he was answering a question, it was a complete mistake. So I'm reeling right now, Keenan. I'm reeling. And I'm like, you know what? I got a big star coming up in Keenan Thompson. I'm about to have a hell of an interview. I'm going to start it off with a spicy question.
That's right. That's mad spicy. To answer your question, I don't know. It's how he's feeling, I guess. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know if he realized what he was doing. Actually.
Well, Keenan's here because he's teamed up with Phantom Pharmaceuticals to raise awareness about GERD. We appreciate you, Keenan. What's your connection?
You know what GERD is?
I know.
GERD is weak.
I know it. It's an intestinal, right? Go ahead.
It's a gastro. It stands for gastroesophageal
reflux disease.
Reflux disease. Yeah, reflux disease. Good job, everybody. That's teamwork. But no, I personally was suffering with acid reflux and was prescribed Voquezna, and I've overcome it now. So I just wanted to spread the word about that in case anybody else might be having similar symptoms and they don't know necessarily how to approach it, if the over-the-counters aren't working for you. So talk to your doctor, and they might prescribe you Voquezna.
What are the symptoms? How did you know that you were dealing with it?
The typicals like burping up acid late at night, sleepless nights, stomach discomforts, stuff like that, just an acidy feeling in the throat. And it was starting to, affect my work and stuff like that. Because if I'm not rested, that's just more stress on top of stress, or I, would blow my voice out a lot easier. And, that's just not helpful because I don't know if people really know, but before SNL comes on, I sing the warm-up song. We warm up the audience or whatever, but I sing like a full song out. And I do that twice a night and then have to do the show. So sometimes, you can hear it, you can hear that my voice is like a little hoarse or raspy or crackling. And a lot of that was probably due to an acid reflux situation happening. But
is it always this?
I'm
sorry. Is it always the same song? And what song is it?
It has been the same song for a while. We've switched it up a couple times, but we keep coming back to this song. It's "Give Me Some Lovin'." You know that song?
Oh, no, who sings that?
Every day, do. Spencer Davis Group. I want to say.
Hearing you sing that reminded me of a question that we had from earlier in the show, and I would like your ruling on this. So we have a situation at this show when someone says something braggy, we have a sounder that we play that, here's one.
Look at me, Lucy.
Okay? And so that's around. We use that when someone says something braggy. And then they introduce this for no particular reason, but because they wanted to differentiate between certain type of braggers. And I want to know, is this okay or nah?
Look at me, Leroy.
That face, I feel like tells a lot.
Did you hear it? He put gravel in that voice, right? He put gravel in it, and then the name, thumbs up, thumbs down from Keenan Thompson.
Yeah.
That is what it is. You know what I'm saying? You can't act like there ain't no Leroys out there.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? So
you
there's
can.
Leroys in the world, but it definitely made me laugh.
I feel like we're trying to put rules around it.
Kind of cultures that brag, that's kind of interesting. I don't think you need it. I think you're fine with the first one or whatever. or one or the other.
Yeah.
I don't think you need to differentiate the two.
Yeah, it's been the general consensus.
That's
Keenan.
hilarious.
What's the number one food that will send you to tummy ache city with your GERD?
Yeah, back in those days, it definitely was like, late night pizzas and stuff, like spicier marinaras or spicier kind of foods on top of like sodas. Like, yeah, when I was in my bad, health, diet making choices, decision making era or whatever. I was drinking a lot of sodas, eating late. And yeah, a lot of like tomato saucy kind of like high acidity kind of foods basically for me. So yeah, those are all triggers that were not necessarily great without any sort of help or protection.
What are the nights at SNL with the best spread? Is it after the main show? Is it the writing nights? What's the spread looking like around SNL?
Oh, the spread is fantastic every single day, man. SNL is just, it's first class all the way. First class all the way, man.
Talk to me slow about it.
There's a lot of snacks out there, There's snacks during the table read. There's meal breaks when we have rehearsal and stuff like that. There's a whole commissary. So, you just got to make better choices. Basically, that was my kind of journey. Just make better choices.
Of all the guests that you guys have had, who has been the most fun for you to work with?
That's tough, because like there's so many of them that are so great. You know what I mean? Like any old cast member that comes back to do the show is always fantastic. Tom Hanks is always incredibly delightful. Like Meryl Streep was surprisingly insanely cool with everybody. Dave Chappelle has a good time. Like, Chris Rock has a good time. Like anybody that comes. Look at me, Leroy.
You earned that one.
That one's starting to rub me wrong. So maybe go back to him. Because that's not my name.
Exactly. That's the point. It's my cousin's name, but still.
No, your cousin. I thought your cousin was G-Roy.
It's G-Roy and Leroy. They're twins, man. It is.
Are you serious?
I'm serious. Yes.
Leroy.
Stugotz was right. Holy Stugotz was right.
This is what we talk about, Keenan. They're just playing a bunch of
stuff. Shout
stuff.
out to G-Roy and Leroy, man.
Yeah.
That's living life.
Yes, this is what the culture of black people in America is.
Tell them the rest though. Tell them how.
That's standing on business. I'm G-Boy.
The G, bro.
Tell them how everybody else in your family his name starts with an A.
I don't think that's weird. Okay, so Keenan,
Do you have siblings, Keenan?
A bunch of siblings. And they all start with the letter A. And my parents start with A's, and all of our kids start with A's. And then some of their kids also all start with A's, and they think our family is strange for that.
No, I just think y'all are dedicated. That's all. Y'all dedicated to the A. I'm dedicated to the A being from Atlanta, so I feel you.
Yeah, we both two up, two down, piece up, two down. Is that what it is?
No, you're from Ohio.
Okay.
A-Town. Oh man.
My bad. I'm still learning.
2 up, 2 down.
I don't know. All right, I got a question. Yeah, I don't know. 2 up, 2. It's like a football call. All right, so you are the longest running cast member in SNL history. Such a legendary show.
I've been trying to hold him back, Keenan. He was so excited.
I was,
he was
man.
Like, I'm gonna take over the interview.
Dude.
I'm so excited.
I'm gonna just tell you,
Keenan, but now
big Keenan fan. He raised me in this comedy game. All that. You don't know the how many nights we just.
So how do you feel about you got a chance to speak to this guy that you really respect and admire, and you just said, and he's from Atlanta, and you just said to him, two down, 2 up, 2 up.
Hey man, I ain't from the A. I feel like we should all understand that you try to fit in, you try to find that commonality.
But Usher's was it pretty inescapable?
You know what I'm saying? I'm just trying to get past that.
My bad. Apologies. Peace
so
up.
Just,
down.
All right, so
2 up,
2 up, 2 down. My question, Keenan, what is your favorite sketch that you've done? This is SNL or all that. Like, what is your favorite sketch of all time that you've been a part of?
Man, that's tough.
Black Jeopardy?
That's tough. Yeah. I'm really bad at favorites.
Okay.
I'm gonna go just claim that right.
What's your least favorite?
Least favorite is any one of them that got cut because that does not feel good.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of good ones, man. That it's hard to put What's Up With That over Black Jeopardy, over Scared Straight, over Super Dude, over Principal Pimpel. You know what I mean? It's just like I have, affinities for all of them. You know what I mean? Because, you're putting yourself out there. You know what I'm saying? And like you want people to receive it well. So if it goes well, it's like I'm gonna leave it there. I don't necessarily need to pick favorites.
So many classics. Were there any sketches that got cut that you're like, yo, to this day, that should have been in the show?
I mean, I had one, but we definitely got our get back, and it actually went into the show, so that was good. It was this sketch called Active Jack, where it was like a PBS kind of show in the 70s about a guy that was like getting kids excited about working out, and it was like a long theme song basically. And I think the first time was Bruno Mars, so he was like, "Come on, kids, let's get active," and he sang a song about doing push-ups or whatever. And then it was like the 50-year anniversary of that show, so they were doing like a reboot or something. So then it was me as the Active Jack dude singing the song, a lot more tired and less enthusiastic. But it got cut, and then years later, Kevin Hart came and it made it on the show. So I got that get back.
That's dope. That's dope. My favorite sketch that I think got cut was The Other Cavaliers. It's a sports show. So The Other Cavaliers was the sketch around all the other guys around LeBron when he was on that 2018 run. I'm talking like that might be my favorite sketch of all time. And I think online it did something crazy, like 100 million views. So people also agree that sketch was hilarious and mad that it didn't make the show.
It is. Like I'm laughing right now just listening to the premise. Yeah, that was great.
I think Dan has a question.
What is the worst part of the life?
Of what life? Of my life?
That's
just another thing we've been playing because Dan asked a terrible question to a NASCAR driver last week, and that was the question. So we've been playing it for all our guests.
What's part of the life? Yeah.
GERD?
What, the life of being a famous person, or the life of having GERD, or what life?
I think they all apply.
Yeah, they all apply. The worst part, I don't know. Like it's hard to say. Like that makes you feel sad because then you're actually pinpointing what the worst part of it is. But yeah, I don't know. I'm thankful for it all, honestly, because if it's something difficult, then it's a lesson. You know what I mean? And if it's something great, then it's a blessing. So like I don't know. I'm just taking it all in stride as it comes. I'm just happy to be alive, man, because so many people aren't. Like if you read the news, it's almost like every single day we losing a legend. So
that's real.
I'm just glad to be here, dog.
That's real. But you don't look any older than you did when you were in all that, which is a blessing, and that's pretty crazy. Have you ever had a celebrity? See, we back. Me and my dog, we back. Have you ever had a celebrity upset at how you played them on SNL? Confront you?
Not necessarily confront me because they can't find me. They can't see me out here like that.
Okay, that's smart. That's smart.
But I definitely heard from people. Steve Harvey called me in the beginning. And he was like, "Hey, slow that down."
Slow that down is such an old black man way to say, relax, young man.
I think Star Jones was mad about it back in the day, and I understand it, because when I was younger, I was definitely a little more dismissive of how people might take my impressions of them, just thinking that, I'm just a kid. I'm just doing impressions, whatever. It's no big deal. But I've grown to understand what would, upset people about being impersonated, so I try to do it in a much more, positive version, even if I am poking fun at them. Yeah.
Were any French people upset with Pierre Escargot back in the day?
I don't think so. I think they just loved it because it was so silly. You know what I mean? It's just a guy in his bathtub speaking fake French. That's all.
Yeah. There's definitely a couple characters from all that you could not bring back in this day and age. I think there's a few of them.
Yeah, I'm sure there's, several things that haven't aged well. You know what I mean? But in the moment, it is what it is. Like
part of the game.
I don't personally go out in malice. I usually go out in fun, basically. So in that fun, I feel like if we step on a toe, it's more so accidental than anything.
Yeah, that's comedy. I also love your Kendrick Perkins impersonation. I think that is the best in all of sports comedy, and it actually baffles me that that's not Kendrick every time I hear it first before I see it on the screen.
Thank you. Shout out to Kendrick, man. He's such a good dude. And yeah, he's been very supportive of the impression, the whole time. So it's just fun to have those people that have those audible things. So when I start doing it, people know who it is right away. It's just a lot of fun.
I think the athletes and people in sports media aren't like Steve Harvey level celebrities, so we excited.
Yeah, it's all good,
Stephen
baby.
A. I feel like is excited when someone impersonated him. Kendrick, I'm sure, is also excited because it's like, oh, yeah, it's always funny. It's like, oh shit, they actually do be watching this too.
Yeah,
'Cause
I
we
start
don't-
hating. I'm like, damn, Kendrick got an impersonation on SNL. Dang, I gotta get my.
But I
my
feel
bag.
like Keenan could probably help us with this. When you're figuring out impersonations, I assume you're looking for something distinct. But I feel like I'm looking at you, Hawk. Like I don't know.
You ain't got enough there.
No, it's not that you don't got enough. But Kendrick Perkins obviously has a very distinct.
Well, you know what
manner
he's talking
of
about.
speaking. I was on with him a couple weeks ago, and he was doing exactly. It took everything in me, Keenan, not to laugh because my man was talking about what his grandmama told him, and I was like, man, now you're doing an impersonation of a man doing an impersonation.
100%. And I mean, it's a mixed bag of both of those things. Like what I feel like I can do, like vocal wise, and then also what's the immediate register for the audience to know who I'm doing and when and why, basically.
Could I? So, is there when you were figuring out Kendrick Perkins as a character? I guess I was wondering, how do you even determine that this is something that you want to caricature? Because it wasn't as if it was like he's so in the news that you're like, we got to do something about this. When do you notice? Was you just watching SportsCenter, or did someone, or even just watching ESPN, or did someone mention it to you? How did it come to be?
Yeah, no, I mean, I've been on Kendrick Perkins for years, you know what I'm saying? But it just takes a while for him to get onto the radar of everybody else. So, like, by the time I do it, people know who I'm doing. Like, I remember I did Steve Harvey on SNL when he still had hair, and the audience didn't really know who he was yet like that. And he wasn't just like, in the house, he just wasn't in the living room necessarily on a daily basis like he is on Family Feud. So once he got on Family Feud and everybody knew who he was and everybody could see what kind of a big character that he naturally is, like I was able to do it. There's just kind of like that perfect storm of awareness, basically.
I'm gonna work on my Hawk impersonation. And
I'm down for it.
No, I already did it. I did it earlier. 2 up.
And where's Dan? You know where Dan is?
Dan, no one knows where Dan is, man. Dan running around.
I decided to come here.
Yeah, he in L.A. running around doing foolishness. Stugotz not here either. We're not even sure if Stu is still alive. We ain't seen Stu in forever. It's chaos out here, bro.
Keenan, I have a question. What would you have said? Like, you're blessed to have this really long career in entertainment, but if I pulled you aside on the set of All That and I said, 25 years from now, you're going to be doing interview hits on behalf of GERD. How do you think that worked out for you?
Yeah, I mean, I would first ask you, why are you standing? Why do you feel like you need to be the one to stand up? But yeah, no, I mean, I'm out here speaking on GERD to try to help others. So, I would definitely be fine with that if my younger self would be like, oh, you're out on talk shows in the future talking about GERD. It's like, why? It's like, well, you actually had it and overcame it, and you wanted to share your thoughts on that with other people that might be suffering as well and not know. I'm like, oh, okay, that's cool.
Incredible dismount. Way to cross over off the backboard.
The pros do.
This is why he's one of the greats.
Yeah, thank you so much, Keenan.
Give it up. Keenan Thompson.
One of my favorites of all time.
We appreciate it. Thank you so much, Keenan, for coming in and making at least one of my interviews go well. Thank you, sir.
Hey, man. I hope that the rest of them do, but you never know.
Yeah, they got
2 up, 2 down, Keenan.
2 up, 2 down, always.
My boy.
All right,
represent.
Oh man, that was so much fun.
I knew it would be.
You were great, man.
Thank you. I was excited, bro.
This is like when Jason Tatum thinks he's gonna be the MVP, but Jaylen Brown like, nah, bro. I came in here all hype, was like, yeah, I'm gonna cook today, but really just rode the back of the 40 under 40, 50 under 40, all the lists of Andrew Hawkins.
I don't know a lot, right? But I know what I know. So there's no prep. When Keenan Thompson comes on, I don't know about everyone knows, listens, I don't know everything. And if I don't know, I have no problem telling you that. But when Keenan comes in, I am a PhD level at Keenan Thompson
That was
sketches.
textbook on how not to start an interview.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. But I also, I closed it poorly.
Oh, the Morgan Wallen.
I mean, you got to ease into Morgan
I thought that was
Yeah.
really funny.
Yeah, I thought so too.
Oh, no, it's funny, but
think
it's just a little jarring when
It's
that's
very
the
comfortable.
first words he hears.
I tried to be too comfortable at the end too. Like I just wanted to say GERD. Like it's you know
Yeah.
it's just
It
a
is
funny thing to say.
yeah, it's a funny word.
I understand it's an infliction, and he went serious with it, and then called me out for standing.
Number one, he said,
Which he was
first
right
off,
about, by the way.
Why
Yes,
are
I'm
you
definitely
doing
standing? Hand up. That's on me.
We might get aggregated now since he, you asked him about it. It's getting aggregating all the trades. Maybe they're going to pick up on his answer.
Yeah, it was a pretty smart question. I mean,
was a
the
great
N-word
question.
thing, like,
Yeah,
I
he
was
took
just,
it-
yeah, like very of the moment
He
right
came
now is
hot.
that he walked
He
off
came in
the
hot
set.
at the
Yeah,
gate.
what happened there? Then we might have been aggregated, but then it became very clear that no one should listen to.
We're trying to get our newsy clip, and it's just like, well, thanks, Dominique.
Also, he was next to a very loud AC vent.
Or he was on an airplane.
That's a pretty boss move.
to do an interview from an airplane
Yeah.
or the AC vent.
I said 2 up, 2 down. Listen, we don't come out. Every shot you shoot isn't gonna go in.
Do we
From
find
Ohio.
out the score now or in the post game?
Well, we gave up an empty net goal there. So
Wow.
We'll find. Oh, we're playing hockey now. Oh, we definitely lost.
Yeah, we
I thought we were
Big
playing
L.
hockey the whole time. We went
We're
hockey
down by-
nicknames and everything.
yeah,
Wait,
we were
I-
down by 2. Now we gave up the empty netter.
I thought we were playing baseball.
That's I think
We
a big
definitely-
issue with how we're scoring
definitely
this is
weren't
because
playing
we're not even
baseball.
on the same.
That was
sport.
our issue the entire time. We
I
had
don't
no
think the
idea
Keenan
what
interview
sport-
went bad though. I thought that was a good interview.
No, like by comparison
We bounced back.
to the earlier interviews,
Okay.
yes, that was one of the good ones, I guess.
All right.
It also may just be me being excited to talk to Keenan Thompson.
I
That
thought
might
it
be.
was great.
I was excited too.
Obviously, I'll prepare better for interviews in the future. I apologize. Hand up. I'm going to go serious right now in order to make Mike uncomfortable because no matter what, the best part was when he dunked on Mike and Mike was standing up, trying to smile like he felt good, but it was uncomfortable.
Yeah, I had my regrets there. I was just trying to,
It was a
make it
funny
light.
question.
About GERD.
It was.
No, it was a
But
great
also
question.
he had GERD, so he was kind of like
Wanted to go.
he played it down the middle. Mm-hmm. But when you in retrospect, after he started to answer you, I'm like, oh, okay, I can see where
I
he
wanted to
didn't take
ask,
that
is it a
great.
double-edged sword to be afflicted with something so fun to say?
Yeah.
Well, we got show awards coming up. We'll determine the final verdict on how things went today. And Chris, how we doing?
They say a series doesn't start until a road team wins a game. So I think we still have a shot in this series.
Why you sound so sad? Like I get it. Like it's fine. It wasn't perfect today.
This is-
Good ass show.
It was
You know what
fun.
I think? People enjoyed today's show.
I agree.
I know one thing about a man named Dan Le Batard. He gets a little nervous when I come in here and get cooking. So it's not bad. I drop one off my foot. It's a little. I want Dan to feel comfortable because you know what tomorrow's gonna be? Best show in show history. Guaranteed.
Guaranteed.
Mark it down. Everybody looking at me a little sullen in the face like they don't believe me.
Well, we got to lose a couple because we have to work Thursday and Friday.
Shh, don't tell the people that I threw the first game. Don't tell them I threw the first game. You think I don't know how to interview? You think I can't ask a list of questions? All of a sudden, I can't ask a list
All
of
of a
questions.
sudden, you don't know the mic is going to hit that button in the middle of a
Oh,
Steve
you
Williams
think that was a
interview.
mistake?
Come on.
You think it was a mistake that I went womp, womp, womp? It was a
try, my
perfectly
boy.
timed one.
But what about in the Keenan interview when 4 sounds played?
Yeah, that's because that was because I was trying to do a callback.
Was that
Come
also
on.
you?
Huh?
Was my grandma said you can hunt, you can hear.
What?
Yeah, so that one was like, okay. I forgot about that one. Also, the Dan question was
You
a little
can
awkward.
hunt, you can hear is such a great old person
Yes,
comeback.
If you can hunt, you can hear.
All right, awards.
Why are you telling Mike about the hunt can hear?
My bad. Was
That's
I not
a-
supposed to?
That's
was that supposed
internal.
to- okay.
That's internal.
Hey, we're all family Leroy's,
That's
man.
fair.
I'm going to give
We're all
Dominique
Leroy's
and
when I'm in the
Charlie
building.
an award.
Ooh, we
for
get an award?
The best energy having had 4 hours of sleep last night because your flight got canceled.
Oh,
All right, good job. Good job. Good job.
well,
Deserve it.
All right.
I appreciate it. That ordeal yesterday was longer than I would have wanted it to be.
Doesn't sound great.
It doesn't. You said, all right, I thought you had an award.
No, I didn't.
Well,
I
think he was a little offended that they got awards there and he didn't.
I'm a
Oh,
little-
okay.
Well, you
Well, how
were
much
not
how much
on a-
sleep did you have?
Yeah.
How many sleep?
The award was only applicable to them. That's why I singled
Okay,
them
no,
out.
that's fine. I mean, I'm
How
it's
many
okay.
how many sleeps did you get?
I got enough sleeps. I got my typical amount of sleeps that I typically get.
I would like. I mean, you also have awards. You got real awards
Can
today.
never have too many.
Okay,
awards,
well, I would like to give Andrew Hawkins the award.
Yes.
That dude got so many awards.
Good job. Yeah, you deserve
appreciate
all
you
of
guys.
those awards.
He doesn't
in that
even know.
award, yeah.
There's so many.
We'll get better though. If we took an L, I don't like giving out game balls if we feel like we lost, but I'll allow it for this moment.
So
of
should we do something
building
different?
chemistry for the rest
Should
of
we
the
do
the
something
series?
different? Like, should we do, instead of awards, do just like film study? Instead?
No, I don't mind it because I am one of those guys, as Mike will point out in my career, we got a lot of L's. Mike loves to point that out. And I always
right
did
there with
enjoy.
you.
I always did enjoy when the coach would be like, "Hey, we got to play better." You know, I mean, we got to be like Hawk, man. Hawk gave effort start to finish. I would always love those moments of like, yeah, we lost by 4 touchdowns, but you seen the effort I was putting out there, coach. So I don't mind getting a shout out still with an L.
Andrew Streeter. Good job on the Look at Me Leroy's, Look at Me Louis.
Good job. Yeah.
Does he get an award for that? Or
I don't know.
Just
Bluesy
gave him
style
one.
there.
You did just give him one.
Yeah, I don't know. There's some awards that
I'm glad we finally addressed this because it has been weighing on me for a few weeks now.
yeah, that we don't need more.
Louis was fine.
My favorite part was Keenan out the gate, no context, no background, was like, hey, you don't need multiple of those. Immediately, the first thing he said.
I would have given Chris Cody the Adult in the Room award.
that's a first.
That's
Okay,
scary.
I don't know if I
No, I
agree
mean,
with that, but okay.
No, I think throughout the show today, and maybe it wasn't in you guys' ear, Chris held me down. Held me down in the ear with timing and preparation. And also, when I was reeling in an interview, you know who
Chris, what you got over there?
Hey, Chris,
Chris,
help me out.
yeah.
Ask a golf question. Don't you play golf? Do something.
Help me.
He definitely he carried the
In the
Steve
meantime.
Williams interview. Yeah. I'd like to give an award.
Ooh.
Best Uber rating award goes to Jess.
Oh.
That's a 5-0.
Anyone want to kind of see that 5-0?
4.97.
Are we believing her on that? No one wants to
gotta
see
do
I
it.
showed Mike.
Okay.
Oh,
Perfect, just like my GPA in college.
What?
GPA perfect. You had a perfect
I don't know why
GPA
I said
in
that.
college?
Yeah, senior year.
Oh,
I don't know if that counts.
That's impressive.
What's
And
your-
freshman year.
What's your SAT score?
I didn't take the SAT.
Oh,
Oh, lucky you.
Yeah.
This game I don't want to play.
okay.
Because I would win that award too.
Oh.
Hey, yeah, good job.
I wanna-
smart.
I want to
Smart.
name one of our awards, and this for all week since Hawk's with us. We will every day name
Did you
our
know you were here all week?
most of the days.
Yeah,
Okay,
news to me now.
It's our award. And who from the show today do we?
I like him. I like him.
Who's
I'm gonna
our
go
I like
Keenan
him?
Thompson.
Keenan Thompson.
That's
Yeah,
why I
that's
like
right.
him.
Yeah, that's
I like
a good
him.
choice.
I like
That's
him
a good
award
choice.
goes
Good
to
choice.
Keenan Thompson.
I like him.
He took that Mike question in stride.
I like him.
So, Roy,
Yeah.
I want to give you the Roy Award.
Yeah.
He's always Roy.
No one was more Roy than you.
Hey, listen.
Way to go,
I
Roy.
do my
Roy
job.
tried.
I do my
Roy
job.
and Leroy. For
Roy
sure.
Lee.
You were in competition.
G. Roy also gave it a late run.
Yeah, it's a tough one this
You
week.
held down the Roy Award.
G. Roy,
I
Leroy.
can't believe G. Roy. That's not.
Why
not
is that
serious.
funny,
Twins
bro?
went after me,
That's
man.
He is the all-time leading receiver in Maryland history.
Oh,
I like him.
It's Elite Roy.
There you go. So he did everything that Neek couldn't do.
that's what I couldn't do.
You couldn't play offense, bro.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
gotcha.
couldn't
Okay,
do
I was
it.
gonna say he
Not
couldn't
at
play
Maryland.
corner. He couldn't play corner.
Who wants to play corner? You low paid. Come on, we covered this.
I mean, I had
No pun
offers to play
intended.
offense. I chose not to.
Okay.
Is there a B Roy or a C Roy in the fam?
Nope, just Lee and G.
Just Lee and G. D Roy. We out.
Definitely lost game one.
That's an L.
Yeah, it's fine.
Stephen A is opening up for a sec. This series is over.
I accept. Yeah. I accept.
LeBron James.
Game
Be
one
better
out.
next week.
Game
Ladies
one
and
out.
gentlemen, we don't have to show up
Game
for the
one
rest
out.
of this
Game
series.
one out.